Good evening and welcome to the Oliveboard platform. My name is Marut Sharma, your logical reasoning expert, and we are here today to start a very important topic, input and output. Right now, just give me a moment. I'll just check something. Perfect. Yes, so before we start, I will just give you a brief about what the topic is and how are we supposed to deal with it. Right. Now, input output. As I tell you a brief story about every topic before I start. So, for this also, I'll tell you. Technically, again, before 2025, input output was or still is one of the most important topics of banking examination. And they give elaborate questions there where they ask you to solve a big input output scenario, and then they ask multiple questions associated, sub questions associated with the primary question. So it carries a lot of weightage and there are good questions in it. Now, in the railway examinations, if I talk about the railway examinations has been asking input output based questions for quite a long time now, but it is not very frequent. So the frequency is not very high. Sometimes it asks, sometimes it does not. But it's there a part of their syllabus always. Okay. And now for the first time in 2025, SSC has also asked input output in one of their examinations. So it has become clear now that we are transitioning towards these topics, these important topics in our, right? Now, again, this is a dual topic actually. Why dual? Because at one end, from one angle, you can see it's a very easy concept. If you can just understand what it is linked to, it can be very easy for you to approach. Very definite, very direct. But on the other hand, the approach, the presentation is very new. It's very different. It's very unique. And it's unlike any other topic which causes the novelty and which creates a problem. The problem is time. See, the issue is when they give you a long input, like, no, this is what needs to be done. These are set of instructions. And then an input and process and output is given to you. You end up taking a lot of time to decipher, to think, to understand how to approach the question. Then you actually get into the depth of the question. For the other topics, you already know what needs to be done. So you right away, just by reading, you start solving. And that time lag is what causes the main issue of input output. Okay. So what is my purpose today? My purpose today is to explain the theoretical concept of input output as far as your one-day examinations are concerned. Though this is a two-part series. So today I will deal with the questions. The type of questions will be actually from the exact banking. And why am I doing that? The level will not be that high. I picked up easy questions from banking exams. The reason is that I want you to learn to solve it completely before. Okay. So your first exposure towards input output should be in a complete detailed manner so that you know what needs to be done exactly in these questions. And then in the next session, I will show you questions which are shorter, which don't need that much thought process, and which are actually the kind of questions that are expected in your one-day exam. So let's start. What is input output? So basically, all of you have come across the concept of, you have all done computers as when you were kids, right? Must have learned the starting of computers, input devices, output devices, right? So whenever you were taught about the complete basic principle of working of a computer, it involved of three things, three arms, three headers. Number one was the input. Number one was the is are giving some data, providing some data into the system, right? Supposedly, I am giving two numbers, 5 and 2, right? This input was given to the computer and then the computer used to process it. There is some process which is involved in the data. Processing goes on with the data. Probably here it is being added, let's say. They are adding 5 and 2. So I'm giving 5 and 2 as an input. They are adding 5 and 2 here. That's it. Don't think about 7 right now in your head. 7 is the result, but you don't have to think about it. So 5 and 2 are given here. 5 and 2 have been added here. And now comes the output part. The output is when this computer, after the process is complete, hands the result over back to you. That is known as a. Okay. So we all know that this is how a computer works, or this is how basically machines work. Machines take an input, process it and give us an output. And exactly on that principle, this question will be based. Now, I'm trying to tell you, what I'm trying to tell you is, when I have taught this in the past, I mean not input output, but I have taught this concept in the past, where the principle behind solving a question is that a certain data set is given to you. You try to identify the pattern which is hidden in that data set. From once you have obtained the pattern, you apply this pattern to another question data set, and then you get the answer. So this process I have already updated you about in the past, right? Topics like analogy, coding, decoding, they are parts of these types of questions. This is exactly that. Okay. An input process output system will be given to you. You will read it and you will just understand what is the process. How is my output coming from this process? The process will be listed, but what is happening in every step will not be listed. So you will read, you will decipher, you will capture, you will understand, and then you will apply this to a new input set in the question, get your output, and then solve the question. That's the whole idea. So basically, this is nothing new, but this is actually coding decoding. Okay, again, coding decoding or analogy, just that the facade has changed. Rather, you can actually take it much equal to analogy, coding decoding. It's like the code for one word is given, the code for the next word is asked. So you look at the word and the code, try to identify the code, you apply the code there and you get your answer. That's what exactly is going to happen here. Right? Now, input, process, output. So what will happen here, that input will be given to you in some format. And there will be some steps mentioned under the category of after input, that is under the category of process. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, etc. And the final step will be your output step. Right? So what will the input be? In what forms can the input be? The input can be in the form of numbers, form of letters, can be in the form of words, symbols, and also a combination of all of them. Also a combination of them. Not that they are only going to have numbers or letters or words or symbols. It can be a mixture of all of them. Okay. Any order, some numbers, random numbers will be written. Some words will be written. Words can be meaningful or they can just be clusters of some letters. Letters will be an individual or cluster based. Some symbols will be given, and there can be a string given where everything is mixed together. Okay. Now we'll move on to the process part. So what exactly happens in a process is, process consists of steps. Process consists of steps. Any number of steps can be given there. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, after the input step, of course. And the last step of the process becomes your output step. Most probably, that will be mentioned in the question. Now, your process primarily is based on the concept of movement and arrangement. It is based on the concept of movement and arrangement. What is that? So, my elements, whatever elements I have here, either they are numbers or they are symbols or they are letters or they are words or whatever they will be moved from here to there and they will be arranged in a particular order. That order can be ascending, descending, anything. That is the basic principle behind the process. Majorly processes will be of this type only. Okay. But there are two major types of processes called based on movement. Call them. One is pushback. Okay. Let me show you what is pushback mechanism. So I'll give you an example first. Okay. Suppose I have an input which is of this form. Okay. And my purpose is to arrange this into an ascending order. Okay. So what is pushback? Pushback means the movement will be in such a way that, what is the smallest element here? 1, A. So this A will come in front and this will push the others behind. So this will be A here now. Now D will be here, C, B, F. Okay. The next letter, what is the next letter? Next letter is B. So be coming here. So after A, no? A will be here, B is here, then D, F. Okay. Then of course C will be coming here. So we have A, B, D, because E will come in front, so on and so forth. It's known as pushback. Known as pushback. Why is it known as pushback? Because in this movement, your element is moving in a particular direction and then pushing the others behind. Okay. If A is going here, the other, see how it is working. So majorly from one end, it will look like a staircase always, like steps. If that happens, then it is mostly a pushback mechanism. But you don't have to think like that. That's too much detail. Just have to understand what is happening is, if my element is moving in the direction and pushing the other elements in the next direction, that is pushback. Now pushback can be double pushback also. That means one element in the same step, one element will go in the front, the other element will go at the back, sorry. And both of them will push back the other elements too. Okay, so A has come in front and is pushed the others behind, as it is in the same order. This is your pushback mechanism. Your pushback mechanism of movement. Your movement is based on this mechanism. Right? There is another mechanism on which movement can be based, but the questions from this section are very rare. It is known as exchange mechanism. Exchange mechanism. So let me show you with the same example. Okay. Same example with exchange mechanism. So I will have, let's say, now, what is the exchange mechanism? Label this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Label the position. Now, what is the first position? It is D. And what should be the first position if I want to arrange them in the ascending order? It should be. So what will I do is I'll simply exchange A with D. That's it. And exchange means literally exchange. That means A will now come here. C and B will remain here only. D will now come here and F and E will. Okay. In the next case, what are we going to do? In the next case, we will exchange B and C. We'll have A, B. Luckily, we only have to exchange these now. We have A, my outputs. Okay. Known as exchange. Can you see the difference? The difference between pushback and exchange. In pushback, one element is going either in the front or at the back. So either in the left side, extreme left side, or on the extreme right side, and it is pushing the other elements in the other direction. Whereas here, they are simply exchanging. So A and D have exchanged their place. B and C have exchanged their place, and so on and so forth. So there will be an exchange happening to determine the positions of your exchange. So these mechanisms are based on movement. Mechanisms are based on. Okay. Yes, Ashish, I understand, beta. But let me assure you that if you're preparing for railways or SSC, once you understand today's session, you will not face a lot of difficulty in this question, honestly. Okay, I'll also tell you some common arrangements which are used, and if everything will be in that zone only. It's not going to go up. Mostly, right? Now the third type of logic, third type of process, it's a very unique variation. Call it the arithmetic type. So far these were movement based, but this is not movement based. How does it work? Let me just show you. So for arithmetic, let's say I have a number 1, 2, 4, 5. I have an input in the form of numbers. Okay. First step is third step, fourth step, probably fifth. Okay. Now this is an arithmetic input output. What is so special in arithmetic? What is so different in arithmetic? The difference lies in the fact that arithmetic, generally the others are all arrangement and movement based. There is some movement happening. Here mostly the movements will not happen. That means they are not looking for arrangement in an ascending or a descending order or anything. They are simply performing arithmetic operations on the input step to keep generating multiple process steps. Now, arithmetic case. See here, if you observe, these are all step-based input output. Step-based process. What is a step-based process? Step-based process means if I need to check something about the third step, this question, let's say this is the third step. So for that, I need to know the second step. For that, I need to know the first step, and for that, I need to start from the beginning. That means my third step will only be obtained in a sequential manner. I can't just randomly pick up any step to be my third step. It will be very precise. So that is known as step dependent. Okay, step dependent process. But arithmetic can be both step dependent and step independent. This example is of step independent. Why? Supposedly, I am looking for the fourth step. Okay, so after the input step, this is 1, 2, 4. So these are just cubes of the numbers, aren't they? I don't need step 4, 3, 2 here. I simply need the input step. That's it. From input, I can directly generate this output. Okay, that is the beauty of step independent. Step independent process. For arithmetic, majorly it is step independent process, but not necessarily. Arithmetic can also be step dependent. But the others, pushback and exchange, they are 99% always step dependent. Why? Because they are all based on arrangements and movements only, nothing else. So whatever movements you have made in the previous one, you will have to modify on that only. Hence, they are step dependent. Are you clear about this much? So these are examples of pushback, exchange and arithmetic cases, right? What is happening here exactly? Let me tell you. So this is the double of the input step, triple of the input step, squares of the input step, and this is sum of the previous two steps. Sum of the previous two steps. Okay, that's the whole idea. That's the whole thing you need to understand. Now let's come back here. We are done with the input, we are done with the process. How will we tackle the process? How will we start the movement? But what will we do in this process is how the output is constituted. So primarily, we will go with ascending or descending. Primarily, we will go with ascending or descending. This I'm talking about numbers. So numbers will be arranged finally in the ascending order, in the descending order, depending on the requirement. So you will study this from your input output vision, from your steps vision, you will understand that this is talking about ascending or descending order. If I talk about arithmetic also, as far as numbers are concerned, so arithmetic can be here, I will write it as step dependent or step independent. Step dependent or step. Okay. Then what else do we have? We have a very interesting version here. What is the meaning of flip? Flip means if I have a number 97, it will now be flipped into on the same position. Changing position is a different option, but this is one of the options. This is one of the approaches. Then the next one is alphabetical order. So ascending, descending is actually only pertaining to numbers. I am calling the rest of them as alphabetical order. Alphabetical orders can again be in increase. Okay. Then we will have shifting and shuffling. Have shifting and shuffling. The end will have alternate. What is shifting and shuffling? Shifting and shuffling is basically this only. We have named it separately here. But shifting and shuffling means your elements are just changing places. That's it. Okay. And alternate means supposedly there is a set of numbers and there are a set of words given to you. Okay. Now, in the end, we can see that the numbers are arranged in ascending order separately. The words are arranged in ascending order separately. But the order is made to be in a way that there is one word, then one number, then one word, then one number, then one word, then one number. These numbers are not connected to the words at all, but they are placed alternatively. right? So be careful. This can also be an input. So most probably your approaches, your topics, your codes, your various things which you can understand from the question are these. Mostly it will be somewhere either singly, individually, or there will be multiple logics which are mixed together. Okay, got it? So this is the complete thing right in front of you. Exactly like coding, decoding. There will be one word given and its code is given to you. There is one input, the related process in the form of steps, and the output is given to you. You will read it. Basically, you will lay emphasis on the steps first. Understand each step, what is happening. What exactly is the code? What exactly is the movement? What is the arrangement? Which is mostly out of these. Once you identify that, they will give you a new input, a new question input. Whatever is given to you as data is only, it is only used to recognize the pattern. Once you have recognized the pattern, you will have to apply this to a new input altogether. You'll have to follow the complete process and get the output. And then we'll solve some associated. Now let's bifurcate. Let's understand the difference here. What is the difference between banking and between any other exams? In terms of banking, what is going to happen is you are going to get a connected question. That means there will be a primary question where input, process, output will be a long question, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go through the steps. Then they will give you a question input. Solve that and you will get the final answer for that input. And then there are associated questions. There are joint questions. There will be 4 or 5 questions attached to the main question. Solve, you'll get your scores and you'll move. That's how the banking based questions work like. But SSC and railway, see, they are time bound. Okay. Since they are time bound, they can't give you questions worth, let's say, 4 or 5 sub questions. Have that opportunity. Neither do they have that, neither can they afford it. So the problem is, what happens here is they will restrict it in terms of time. How will they do that? They will shorten the. They will give you such basic and direct questions where you don't have to solve the whole thing. You can merely read, take help from the options. And so we will practice those kind of questions also, but strictly not today. Today I want to give you exposure of detailed questions, good questions, banking level questions, but not of difficult level, of easy level. You will be able to handle it very well. Okay. And this will give you two things. Number one, it will give you a lot of confidence that, okay, yes, now I can solve. If I can solve these questions, then I can tackle anything. Also, it will give you a better picture of how to solve this in reality, what happens in the background. So that when you actually solve them shorter questions, you will have confidence. I don't want you to solve shorter first and then switch to the longer one. Whole idea. Okay. So this is it. Input can be in the form of numbers, letters, words, symbols, or all of the above. Your process can be steps, movement, arrangement, pushback, exchange, and arithmetic. I have explained the logics of each one of them to you. And these are common logics which can help you identify what exactly. Alright. Now, let's look at the first question. First question I will solve with you, right? So I will help you solve it. And then once it is clear, a lot of little things I still need to talk to you about, so that I will explain to you with the question. Once that is clear, sufficiently understood, then we will move on to the next question. It's going to be a good question, a challenging question. Okay. So let's start. This is the first question. Right? So there are 5 attached questions to this. And this question is telling me that there's a machine in which if I give this input, it's an illustration. Okay. So this is an input, processing it. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step. There are 6 steps which have happened. And it is also saying that step 6 is the last step. Okay. Now again they have given a new input, 6754 thankful message list. Very different. They will ask you questions based on this input. So you'll have to find the output from this input. Now, a few pointers which need to be kept in mind when you're solving the question. Whenever you look at an input output based question, the first thing which you will do by default is check the input and output together. Always. Don't sit and read the steps unless required. Check the input and output together. You'll get a fair idea of what actually is being done in the question. What is the machine doing? How it is doing, we need to go step by step. But what it is doing, we can only look at the input and output. So here if you observe 34 lights, ink, 56, 78, online, defeat, 99, orange, range, 87, 22. They are just random. They are just random numbers and words. Correct? Okay, they are just random words and numbers. And if I look at the output, what is the output telling me? All my numbers are arranged in the descending order on the left, and all my words are arranged in the ascending order in the right hand. Correct? 4, 12. The words are arranged in ascending order, that is increasing alphabetical order. The numbers are arranged in descending order on the left. That is what is happening. Now I know what is the desired output. Okay. Now I need to understand how the machine is doing. What exactly is happening. So from that, for that case, always read the input and the step 1 together and just identify what is unique, what has changed. So I can see 34 lights, ink, 78 online, 99 orange. They have not changed a lot of positions, but I think 22 and defeat, they have changed the position. 22 has come in the front. So that means out of all the numbers, the smallest number has come in the front, right? And the smallest word, starting with the smallest letter basically, defeat, has gone in the back. So after this movement, this step has come up. Now what is the next one? What is happening after this? After this, if I observe, the next largest number after 22 is 34. 4 is coming even before 22. Why? Because technically they want to arrange in the descending order, but they are not doing it starting from the largest one. They are doing it starting from the smallest one. So they are placing the smallest one here, push back. Next smallest one there, push back. Next smallest one there, push back. Next smallest one. In the end, they will have the largest one on the left hand side. And that is how it will appear as if it has been arranged in descending order. But for the whole time, it was being arranged in the ascending order. Got it? And as far as the words are concerned, the next word is ink. So go at the back. So this is pretty simple. You're just adding words at the back, the ascending order. Right? So this is the complete process which is happening. Okay. Now let's try to solve this question. So I'll have to convert this input. I'll start it on the next page. Now always remember, if at all you if you come across words where they're starting from individual letters, different letters, T, M, L, K, B, so always consider letters only. Don't write the whole words because that's going to waste your time. If it is not word based, why to waste your time? So how will we start here? We will write the input. What is the input? Input is 6750. Is listing 45 known book list. 90 Q88. Now let's start. So we know what needs to be done, right? So what will we do? We'll pick up the smallest number. What is the smallest number? It is 23. We will go. What is the smallest word? Smallest word starting with go at the back. Right? I'll write step 1 now. What has happened in step? Okay. Now understand that I will be using some lines to differentiate a lot of things, which will help me understand better. There are two types of lines, pushback lines and separator lines. What is a pushback line? Pushback line means where is the next element going to be added now? Before 23. So I'll add a pushback line here so that it is clear that in the next step I have to add my element before 23. And I will also draw separator line from 23 the rest of the numbers. What are the rest of the numbers without changing their position? 7, 4, 45, A, 8, separator. There will be a pushback line here. Why? Because after B now we are adding the. Okay. This is how your pushback mechanism is. Why are these dotted lines drawn here? They are separator lines. They are just for you to understand that these are the elements which have not been arranged yet. Whereas whatever is towards the next side of the dotted line, they have been arranged already. Okay, now next smallest number after 23 is 45. Yeah, 45 will go here now, 423 also. And the next letter is K after B. Step 2, what do I have? I have 45, 20. Alright, next smallest number is 54. 4 will go here, and the next smallest letter is, what is happening now? 445. Now listen to me carefully. My question to you is, how many steps do you think will it take to complete the output? How many steps do you think will it take to get the output? So majority of you are going to answer 6, right? Majority of you are going to answer that they are going to take 6 steps to get the output. But that is not definitely true. That is not 100% correct. Why? Why is that? Because each time your input may have a separate arrangement than what is given. So it is very independent. Why? Because maybe in some places here the numbers are already arranged in ascending order. So for those particular numbers I don't have to write another step. So I'll save a step. In some places I might to add an extra step to solve the question further. So if this is 6, okay, not necessarily this is also 6. It can be 5, this can be 4, this can be 7, this can be 9, anything. Or it can be 6 also. But it is not a compulsion. So always make it an understanding, a habit, that if they have obtained the output in 6 steps, that need not imply that they will obtain the output now also in 6 steps. Got it? So they can always do this. They'll give you an input and ask you how many steps will the question solve in. You will have to quickly, briefly solve it then. Okay, next now. In this step, what is going to happen? The next number is 67. So 7 will come in front. And the next letter is M, 13. Go there. So what will I get now? Step 4. 7, 4, 45. Now the next number is 88. 17 for the back. Step 5 is what? By now I think everybody knows the output. 8, 7, 4, 5. The last one you have 90 and back. Step 6 is 8, 7, 4. Nothing left here. This step is because my arrangement is here now. My arrangement is already here now. So I don't need to proceed any further. Right? This is how exactly I will process my input and output. I have understood what the machine, what is it doing? It is continuously putting the numbers in the front, pushing back the others, and this one is putting the letters at the end, the words at the end, and pushing back further. They are both doing a double pushback. Understood? Clear? Double pushback. That is how it is working. Now the interesting part is we now dealing with 5 sub questions from this sort. Again, why can banking afford such a long question here? So much of calculation involved here. Why? Because it always uses associated questions. If it is giving you, let's say, 5 or 6 questions from one input output arrangement, that means you can sufficiently take time worth 5 or 6 questions here. Okay, because you'll be getting the marks worth of it. So hence they can do that, but SSC and railways can't do that. Hence they will restrict it. Okay, let's start solving the question. Look at this question now. The very first question is, how many steps will be required to get the final output? So we got the answer as 6, but we very well calculated it. So please remember, always you will have to calculate it. You can never simply predict it based on what has happened. Right? Now, let's look at the next one. Next question says, which of these will be the third step? The third step. Let's come back here. Third step was 54, 45, 23. 4, 45, 23, 60. We have two options. Okay, so keep looking. So thankful is the same, but after thankful, we have a message M. Let's see which is coming first after T. Step 3. Step 3, what is coming after T? After T, we have M. So then that means option A will be the, got it? Okay. Next. Next, they are asking me, what will be the fourth element from the left in second step of the output? Second step of the output. So now do you see why do we have to solve it completely here? We don't have to do it in your real exam. In your real exam, even if you partially solve it, you'll get your answers. But here, I purposefully want you to solve it completely. Why? Because they are randomly asking you questions from any shift, any step. Okay, so you need to be prepared. So what will be fourth element from the left in second step of the output? Of the output means this complete thing is of the output. Second step from the output would have meant 1, 2. So, what was it? Fourth from the left, right? Fourth element from left in second step. 1, 2, 3. Okay, next. Which element will be sixth to the left of second element from the right end of step? Now see, sometimes they will write it like this, step 6. Please do not assume it to be the output step ever. If you are writing this question like that, right away don't just assume that step 6 is going to be my output step, so let me proceed. Not necessary. So hence always read if a step has a number very carefully. But if they're saying last step, instead of writing sixth step, they could have simply said last step. That implies this is talking about the output step. Okay. So which element will be sixth to the left of second element from the right? If this is second element from the right, sixth to its left, guys, this will be eighth from the right end. Correct? The step 6. Simply need the eighth element from the right end in step. Step 6, eighth element from the right end. And the last question for set 1. Last question for set. What is the position of the word known in step 2? What is the position of the word known in step? Go back to step 2 and we'll see. So the word known is right end. Why am I saying right end? Because by default you will assume them to be facing north. So this is left, this is right. K is known is in the right end. See, you don't have to write known. Because we have picked up the letters, we were faster here. But we know known is K, no? Okay, so right end is my answer. Got it? Did you understand what needs to be done? All little nitty-gritties I have shared with you. These topics, these concepts, these nuances are enough for you to be able to solve your input-output based. Okay. Today we are going in depth. I know we are trying to solve good questions, big questions, long questions. But in the next class, I will tone it down. If time permits, we might pick up one more long question in those classes. But at this stage, we will only limit ourselves also simple direct questions so that we know how we can expect it. For example, if I want to solve this, okay, in the banking exam, you can see from one input output, there were 5 questions from random steps. So obviously you have to solve the whole thing. But in SSC, what they can do is they can give you this question, this whole long question they can give you. Okay, this question they have given you now. Everything they have mentioned. These are the output. Everything. Step 6 is the output. They have done that. Now they have given you this is the input. And they are straight away asking you the last question. What is the position of the word known in step 2? So now you know that I don't need to solve this completely. I have only single question and they are asking me about step 2. Then why do I have to solve this? Am I being marked for writing steps? No. So I will only solve it till here. This will save your time. This is what they also feel that the student knows. They are only asking you about step 2 in one question. Solve only till step 2. There's no need to proceed further. You will solve till step 2 and get your answer. Simple. Okay. Both SSC and Railway will be doing. Now let's move on to the second question. Or type means second question. Now this one I'm giving you some time. I want you guys to pick it up. It's a very good question. But trust me, I'll give you a hint. I have already told you everything which is important. You should be able to figure out what is happening. Okay. Just go through the complete thing. Try to understand. Please give me the logics in the comment box if you can. Once you understand, once you decide, I know that you have understood. Then we will solve the whole thing again. We'll draw the input and output complete. We'll solve the complete steps. Then we'll answer the associate. Done? So this is the question. There's an input given to you. There are 5 steps given here. And 5th step is the output step. That means this is your complete input output on the same page. Okay. And now this input is a new input. So of course we need to solve from here. Okay. What needs to be dealt with. Just go through this and try to understand what exactly can be the hidden logic here. Obviously, remember, first we will check the input and output together and then we'll proceed further. You can find out anything. Hemant, in that case, what you can do is, if you can identify that they have been arranged in the ascending or descending order, pick up the first 2 letters then. Okay, you can have, let's say in that case, you have something like this. Have something like book, bond, what will you do? Write this as book, car, bond. Got it? You are doing in blood relations also, same thing only. Just pick up any letter you are comfortable. But we are picking up single letters. Why? Because that is saving time. I don't have to write the whole thing again and again. Because if I am writing it down in 7-8 steps, I am just repeating and writing everything. The exam you might have to solve the whole thing if in case. That's why. Yes. Come back here, guys. So observe what is happening and let me know what is the logic, whether you have figured it out or not. Okay, very good, Ashok. Yes, correct. Navali, stop. Job, very good. So what happens here is, as I've told you, generally what do students do? As I told you, they look at the input first and then the output immediately. Correct? So if I look at the input and output here, I will see 55, okay, 44, okay, but 43 is not there only. 23 is not there only. 12 is also not there. What is happening? Get an illusion in your head that probably the first 2 numbers are these, 4 and 40. Probably they are arranged in ascending order. Then the numbers are changing. Some new numbers are being introduced. Some numbers are being replaced. Remember, if not working out, please forget about this. Don't partially hold it in your head. Otherwise, you'll get confused. Can't work out anything between the input and output. The second thing which you do is check input in step 1. That will help you a lot. So here, how you check it is, just ignore the common ones. So 32, 55, 78, 90, 44. Right? What is not there? I can see this not there and this. And instead of these, what is there? I can see a 12 here and a 19. I think almost instantly it should ring a bell now. So now you know that they are being flipped. That means the smallest number is picked up, is flipped, brought in front. The largest number is picked up, flipped, sent at the back. But remember that their, their value, their valuation, their value, their worth decided before being flipped. After being flipped, we are not considering them to be small or large, because 12 after 12, 19 is the next largest number, no? So next smallest number. So it should come here then. But that is not important. 21 was the smallest, I have put it here. 91 is the largest, I have put it here. So my ascending, descending or largest, smallest is only based before being swapped. After being swapped, I am not concerned. I am just arranging that and placing it in the order. You understand? If I check the next one, I'll just get it confirmed. So now where are the elements being added? Next smallest one is 32. So 32 is being exchanged as 23 and being sent before 12 here. Okay, that means here is the pushback line. I'm just adding it in the front. And after 19, we have 09. 90 as the next one. So it's going as 09 after 19. Okay, so this is the logic. You have picked up the logic. Cool. Now let's solve it. 76, 67, 84. Very neat when you are writing this. 70, 33, 32, 20. 12, 34, 97. Now, let's start. The first step, my smallest number is going to come in front. What is the smallest number? 12 here. Come in front. And the next largest number is 97. So this becomes 79 and will go further. Step 1. 1 is 12. And we already know that the next numbers will be ahead of 12. Back line is here. And what about the rest ones? So 76, 7, 1, 4, 9, 17. Okay. Now some people, they write it very like systematically. They always maintain the column of the numbers, like exactly writing one below the other, so they know where is the shift back happening. That may be in banking, but it's not required here. Once you're thoroughly familiar with these pushback lines or these separator lines, you can just randomly increase the speed in terms of writing, balance the rest of them. Now, what is the next movement? So next movement is the next smallest one is 21, right? I will bring 21, I'll make it 12 and I'll bring it here in the back line. And the next largest one is 84. So this will become 48 and this will go at the back. Okay. Step 2 is 1, 12. 7, 4, 8. Next smallest. What is the next smallest one? Smallest is go in the front. And the next largest is 76. 7. Step 3. 1, 7, 4. Next largest number is, next smallest number is 32. Come here. Largest is step 4. Now, what about the next one? Next smallest number is 33. 33 will go here. So there's no change in 33. And the next largest number is 67. So this will become 76. What is my last step? My last step will look like, what is the next step? Next step will look like this. 33. 1. Left with 38. 7. But what about this 34 now? What about this 34? So this is where our observation is going to help us. If you have observed carefully, there was this single number 61 here. And after all the changes, this 61 still remained here as it is because there is no 16 which will become 61. It was the same thing. Why? Because there are 11 elements here. Can you see that? And in every step, I am moving 2 elements. So I will have, if I am having 5 steps, I am actually moving only even number of elements. So out of 11, I have moved 10 elements, but one element will always remain. That will remain as it is. There is no change. It will keep moving as per the others. That's it. But I will not do anything. It will stay there only. That is exactly the fate of 34 in this case. Okay. 34 is going to remain here in the middle. Done. Our outputs. Agreed? Okay. Now you tell me, how many steps has it taken to find the output? How many steps has it taken to find the output? Should I say 5 or should I say 4? Because the input step only, this is the output step only. So there are only 4 steps in between. So what should I say, 5 or 4? What do you think? Correct. 5 is the right answer. So even if the output step is separated, but just look at the gaps in between. So to come here, I had to make a change, right? From the input step. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. The 5th step, but there are 5 steps in between, right? I have taken 5 steps to reach the output. Always remember, focus on the step count here. Okay, don't count these lines, just focus on the step count. So 5 steps to output is what it is, right? And just because this was 5, that does not imply that this is 5 because of that. Luckily, it just got 5. Can be anything. Right, first question. We start. Okay, there is some doubt. Let me just address that and then come back. RJ Srinath is saying 12 is not flipped. How come? Sir, I did. When I brought in front, I okay, 12:20. Okay, fine. Of course, see common mistakes. Why did this happen? Why did this happen? Number one, Marut Sir is very sleepy right now. Very sorry. But number two, apart from the brain fog, number two is because 21 and 12. And if I flip 12, I get 21. If I flip 12 and 21, I get 12. Okay, there were another set of numbers like these here. 7 and 76. If I flip 76, I get 67. If I flip 67, I get 76. And look at the beautiful placement they have. They're right next to each other. So it's bound to lead to some confusion. Understand? So these are the little places where you might also commit error. I am committing right now, you can also. So learn from this, okay? Little mistakes we need to be careful about. So far, I think everything else is fine. Yeah? First question. Which will be the second number from the right end of the line in step 3? Okay? Which will be second number from the right end of the line in step? Step 3. Second number from the right end in step 3. Second number from the right end is what? Next. How many steps shall be required to find the final answer? We've already answered that. We'll be requiring 5 steps. Next, which of these is step 5? Now let's look at the step 5. Step 5 is 33, 23, 82. 33, 23, 82. So this is not the answer. This is not the answer. 33, 23. This is also not the answer. 33, 23, 82. I'll have to check the rest of them now. 12, 21, 34. 12, 21, 34. 79, 48, 67. 48, 60. 7, 7, 6. 7, 7, 6. Absolutely. one. Why did I have to check it completely? Why did I check it completely? Because of these. Because there can be a possibility, they start with 33, 23, 82, 12, 21, but they make some error here. And I might just tick that. Okay. But if none of these was not there, then you could have easily rejected from the options and picked up option A. Of course, there are 5 options here, hence the issue, because it's a banking based question. But generally, there will only be 4 options. Okay. Next. Which is the 5th number in step 1 from the left end of the line? 5th number in step 1 from the left end of the line. Step 1, 5th from the left end. 3, 2, 70. And the last question for this set and the session today. Which step is 82, 12, 21, 7, 70, 33, 32, 34, 31, 48, 60, whatever. We are only focused on the first 2, 3. 82, 12, 21. 12, 21 is only in step 3. So they are not starting with 82 anywhere else. Step 3 is, that's it. Okay. That is how you can encounter questions. And it's not that I have taught you this, so this will never be asked. Even in SSC or railways, they can break it down into smaller steps. So how they can put across the questions to save time? They will either break down the number of steps. So rather than giving you 5, 6, 7, 8 steps, they can give you a simple 3-step input output. Input, 1 step, 2 step, output. That's it. Okay. So that will take lesser time. Or they will give you a large input, a large output with 7, 8 steps in between. But when you'll actually solve your given input, the question input, they will only ask you something about the first step in only one question. So you know that you only have to go till first step and understand what needs to be. Right? So your input time will reduce. So I'm not saying that they can never ask such questions. They can. But they have toned it down to even a simpler level than this. Okay. I want to expose you to some previous year questions. I was not able to pick up the questions for SSC, but for railway I have. So in the next session, probably I will bring a few questions in front of you. Apart from that, I have purposefully, we have some questions which are one-liners in input-output. One-liners means they are not very long questions. Those are the actual questions which we need to practice for. That we are ready for your anything which is asked in your exam from that perspective. So we will practice those in the next session. And if at all I get some chance, probably I will bring, I have a lot of questions here. Okay. So you see, somebody was asking you what happens if they are all same letters. Example here. Okay. We have a lot of examples. I have a lot of examples in this set, and there I have 2, 3 such sets. They are all interesting questions. Okay. So if time permits, we will go back. We will probably solve 1 or 2 more sets as well, so that we can have good practice. That's the only agenda I have. So I have 2 sessions here. 1 session is already done. 1 more session I'll meet you for input output, and then we are done and dusted. So thank you so much for watching it till here, guys. If you have any issues, you can pinpoint. You can put it in the chat box here, or if you are subscribed to the Oliveboard platform that's on the application, then you can also ping me on the community section. How can you do that? In the chat box, in the community chat window, just type @ okay, get a list of people, of faculties, etc. Type my name there, Marut Sharma, and the moment you click on it, you can type your doubt, you can send an image, whatever. I will get a ping and I can come back to you in a short turnaround. Right? All right. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Bye bye. Namaskar. So sweet. Thank you, guys. Take care. Good evening.